Hey everybody, this is Bradley Benner with Lead Gadget and the ATM. It is March 10th at 7:30 a.m. Eastern, and I don't really have any specific training for today. I'm hoping that there will be some questions. Got a lot of work going on actually with the VAs that are now. This is their fourth week in training on building ATM sites. And they're doing quite well. They're actually building, based on the way that I teach how to build, they're building about 8 to 10 sites per day per VA, and I've got two of them. So we're doing anywhere between 16 to 20 sites per day between the two of them. And one of them was going to be helping me build some sites with Brian, actually, Prinz. And he's expecting about 50 sites per day out of that virtual assistant based on how he builds, which is slightly different than how I build. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. But we're doing all different types of sites, a lot of affiliate types of sites. That there's about a 4 to 6 week delay between the time you build the site and the time it starts to generate some pretty good traffic. And since we're on the start of the fourth week, we should start seeing in the next week or two considerable amount of traffic coming in to the sites that we've been building thus far. So kind of excited about that, see how it goes. I have not been able to build near as many sites with the ATM as I would have liked to over the last year and a half, because of the fact that I have so many other things going on. I don't get a chance to build with it. So I finally decided to start hiring and training VAs to do it for me instead, so that I could actually utilize the power of the and reap the benefits of the ATM without having to build all the damn sites myself. So it's going pretty well. We're going to see over the next couple 2, 3, 4 weeks. I'll have some pretty good stories, hopefully, for you guys about how well that number of sites is working out for us, or for me, and I'll let you know about it as I have more data. Right now, it's still too new. There's only, we've had a little bit of traffic come in, but nothing significant yet, because a lot of the sites still aren't fully indexed. So I'll share with you what I have. I'm not going to show you the sites. Every time I do that, they get de-indexed, but I will talk to you about what kind of results I'm seeing based on that volume of sites, which is pretty, I've got some pretty good hopes with it. So we'll talk about that over the next few weeks. Right now, today, other than just questions, if you guys have any questions, I don't really have anything formal planned. We're getting ready for Marketing Mayhem next week. I'm going down there with Brian and Dawn for Marketing Mayhem, the JV Zoo event in Orlando. So we won't have a webinar next week, but we will the following week, and I'll probably have some pretty good things to share with you guys by that time, also including what happened at Marketing Mayhem. So we'll talk about all of that 2 weeks from today. So let me go check the events page and see. There's no questions yet. I know this is an odd time, guys, at 7:30 a.m. in the morning, but it's the only time that I have during the week scheduled for this webinar. So, that's why I ask for people to post questions. I don't get tagged on that many questions in the Facebook group, but when I do, I try to reserve them for these webinars. And also the events page are often posted at least a week ahead of time. Sometimes I don't. Like last week, we didn't have a webinar. This week, I actually just posted the events page yesterday. So, sometimes it's my fault if there's not an events page for you to post your questions to, but you can post a question inside the Facebook group. And if you tag me on it, then I'll know to answer it if I can in between webinars. But if not, I'll answer it on the webinar and then post the link to the video or to the the webinar replay as my response, with it time stamped to the actual time where I answer the question. So I'm just trying to make it convenient for you guys as well as for me to be able to answer questions when you have them. I know we've been building, we've done a lot of sites over the last few weeks, and I'm pretty excited to see what happens with them. So that's pretty much it. I can tell you one thing, even having VAs building a bunch of sites, it's still a lot of work, because it requires you to stay ahead of your VAs as far as, sending them the project details, giving them the keyword lists. Since they're still in training, I like to go back and check on their site builds. So, I've been doing a lot of site reviews and that kind of thing. It's a process, but once we have a pretty good process in place and they get really comfortable building, I'll train them on some of the more advanced techniques, as well as being able to do the keyboard research and everything on their own. And then it'll eventually be pretty much hands off for me. I'll just be paying for the services, and then obviously counting the money that it generates, which is a good problem to have. But right now it has been a bit of a, it's been quite intensive, just training and managing two VAs at the same time. And it's not easy, guys, but it's something that if you push through it and get it done, then you'll reap the benefits, for a long time to come without having to do the building yourself, which, a lot of you guys are here because you want to do the building yourself. You just want to be able to crank out a bunch of sites on your own. I totally get that. But it's also nice to be able to have other people do it for you, so that you can, not have to sit in front of the computer all day clicking buttons, if that makes sense. So anyways, let's go check, see if there's any questions yet. Still none. All right, we're 5 minutes in. We'll give it another 2 or 3 minutes. If we don't see any questions, we'll wrap it up for the day. And like I said, I won't be here next week because of Marketing Mayhem, which will be cool. You're down there with Dawn and Brian. I think it's going to be a good opportunity just to network with others and hang out with them. I've never met them face to face. We've only met via webinars and phone calls and such. So I think that'll be kind of fun too. And like I said, hopefully I'll have some new things to tell you guys about with our sites. We've got I've been going after a lot of affiliate products, actually. Just started building some ring partner sites again. I'd gotten away from that for several weeks, but just started that again like this week, actually. So I'm curious to see how that works now that I'm going to be cranking out a lot of volume. But the affiliate stuff is looking pretty good. I found some nice affiliate offers that pay fairly well, that I found a lot of keywords with local intent. And so I'm actually targeting those to see how it works out. But I'll share that with you guys, or some information about that later when I have some more data. Still no questions. All right, we're at 7:37. 7 minutes. I'm not going to just sit here and talk to the screen, so I'll give it about 1 more minute. If I don't see any questions, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for the day. So any specific questions about building, content, outsourcing, SEO, anything like that, post a question and I'll answer it. All right. Looks like we don't have anything. All right, guys. Well, it's 7:38 now. So everybody have a good week. Post the questions in Facebook if you have any that you want covered on a webinar. I know a lot of the times Brian or Don or other Lead Gadget members will jump in and answer questions, and that's great. That's fantastic. It'll get you an answer very, very quickly. But if you want something covered in a webinar, so that you can see, like, over the shoulder training of how something needs to be done, or setup issues, or whatever else it is that you have, please feel free to ask. That's what I'm here for. And I'll try to answer your questions via the webinar so that you'll have it in the replay to watch whenever you need to. So we will talk to you in 2 weeks. Everyone have a good week.